What's up, everybody? You are listening to the Big E Smallz podcast. I am here with my co-host Eli and our third co-host at the moment, Bella, who is also celebrating a birthday. So everybody, all
Yeah,
the viewers, all the
yeah,
listeners, say
yeah,
happy birthday
yeah,
to Bella.
yeah.
She is trying to chomp my wrist away. It's okay. I could be your meal after. Not like that. Not like that. You know, chomp, 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 chomp. Yep, yeah. How we feeling? How's everybody feeling?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
It's a good
So
week. Good week.
it's a good week. It's a fun week. I
Fun
thought it
week.
was a fun week.
Fun week. Oh yeah. For sure. For sure.
For sure skis. But as always, gang, make sure you guys like the video if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And if you haven't subscribed yet, then all of you.
Bella.
That is Bella saying that if you haven't subscribed, all of you are booties.
Word.
And make sure you guys hit that notification bell so you never miss a banger. We are going to start like we always start, gang, and that is with Ray's Trivia.
I'm not ready.
She really trying to bite
She's
me.
going
Okay.
crazy.
So it's going to be a simple one, in my opinion, because it's just a simple question.
Okay.
You just got to think of a team. And I think it's pretty easy, right? But it might be a little confusing for certain people. The trivia question is, what team is the team that Babe Ruth hit his first home run against?
Against?
Against.
Oh, I'm gonna just say the Red Sox just because.
Wrong.
What the fuck?
And that's where I think most people would go.
They would, right? Because he played for both teams. We might as well just wait. Yankees.
First home run Babe Ruth hit was against the New York Yankees. Obviously, a lot of people are probably going to say Boston Red Sox because they only remember him as a Yankee.
Yeah.
But if most remember, or research, Babe Ruth, the great Bambino, actually started his career with Boston Red Sox, got traded to the Yankees, and that's what started the curse of the Bambino.
Yeah.
Staying into baseball, we are going to get into MLB playoffs, starting off with, unfortunately, the Houston mother effing Astros finally waking up against the Texas Rangers. Now, at the time that we're filming this, Game 6 is in about 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Obviously, you guys are going to get this episode tomorrow, so you guys are already going to know the outcome. But how are you feeling about this, man? Like, how do you feel about this? Well, first of all, talk to me about the series. Like, how are you seeing things playing out?
I love the series.
Yeah?
I love the series. I just feel like when you have that energy going for Texas, because I know Garcia, you know what he did, my boy, Dinga power. You also don't want to add to the fire. You don't. You do not want to do that. I get it. You hit the home run. You want to go ahead, take your walk around your bases, but don't add to Houston. Don't add to their fire. Because the person that most of America hates was the one person you didn't want at bat. You go ahead, get a single, and you go ahead. You face a 5-foot midget. No offense to whoever's 5 foot. Altuve.
Yeah, midget. I don't really care. Altuve,
And-
I'll box you in the street. I don't even know you, and I want to box you.
God.
You're a midget in my book.
And you let him hit a 3-run home run. You let him hit a dinger.
Literally the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah.
And the only thing you didn't want to happen.
The one thing you didn't want to happen, the person that you don't want it to be does it.
Happens.
And it happens and they win. I'm sorry.
You can't
I don't know. I think the Astros close out today.
Yeah?
I think they close out.
Okay. All right. No, I'm liking this.
I just don't think Texas is gonna be able to do it. I think they're gonna come in there and they're gonna try to break down through the door. I think they're gonna try to put up runs early.
That's interesting.
And I for Texas' sake, they better not. They better not. And I don't know. I just feel like that's how I feel. I feel like after the way that last 3 innings went, yeah, nah. Astros gonna come in there and do what they got to do and win. They're going back.
So, unfortunately, I'm with you. I think Houston's going to come out swinging. I think, being that they're up 3-2, I know it's in Arlington. They're probably going to be like,
Nah.
let's end this now. because if we
Yep.
take it to Game 7, anything can happen. Okay,
What happens? You turn 1 years old and you go nuts.
going super nuts.
She's
But
waiting for you.
right. But that being said, yeah, I think they're gonna do their best to just close this out right now. It doesn't really look like. I think what's really killing Texas is that their top bats.
Yeah.
Like I know Adolis is doing his thing. Seager literally only has one meaningful hit this entire series so far,
I would
which is
like
a
to talk about that.
which is a
Go
home
ahead.
run. I know they got dude like Jung or Young, however you want to pronounce his name. Oh my gosh, what's the rookie's name? Evan Carter
Yeah.
and Jonah Heim. They're kind of showing up here and there, but they're not the big bats. You know, we need the Seagers, we need the Adolis again, even though he's doing his thing, and we need the Simeon. Simeon, listen, I know you had an up and down season and you are, a solidified bat, but it's playoff time and I need you to realize that when you get put in certain positions,
Yeah.
you cannot, for lack of better terms, bitch out.
Fold.
There's been multiple times with runners in scoring positions, last inning, last out of the game, and you're popping up to the infield
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
infield.
Yeah.
You have man on first and third. This last game that just happened, just to tie the game, I believe. Yeah, just to tie the game. Man on first and third, one out. All we really need you to do is pop up deep enough to get the man
Yeah.
from third to score.
To score.
You
Yep.
pop up to the shortstop.
Not enough. Not good enough.
So some of these big bats again. Adolis is doing his thing. I don't really have much for Adolis except for just like Eli said, maybe don't throw gas to the fire. You
Yeah.
know, uh, even though I don't think Adolis is in the wrong here because I think it's
No. No. No.
it started with them hitting him in like game 1 or game 2 or
That is
whatever the case may
very
be.
true. That is
Um,
true.
but your compadre's got to help you out. You can't
Yeah.
have basically what a lot of people thought an MVP candidate throughout the season in Seager not do much. You can't have someone like Marcus Simeon who got paid a lot of money to join the Texas Rangers
Yeah.
not do much when it counts. When the chances present themselves. So I think that the Rangers top bats they really got to do what they do if they want to force a game 7 and
Yeah.
potentially win game 7 to move on. But nah, I'm agreeing with you, Eli. I think unfortunately Houston's gonna come out. Excuse me, come out tonight, close out this game, and get right back to the big game like they've been doing for the past 7 years.
Yeah. 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 I mean, Seager. I want to bring up. I know we don't. You're not a stats guy, but it was said during the playoffs. Seager loves to swing at first pitch strikes. Loves. His batting percentage when he's hitting on the first pitch strikes is insane. Best in the game. He is number one, and they're pitching him backwards. They're not giving up those fastballs, dead meat fastballs. He's not getting them. These freaking get me over curveballs that he likes to hang and bang,
Yeah,
not getting them. He is getting quality pitches first pitch. That you know how you would as a pitcher, like your first pitch is like, all right, get me over. He's getting none of them. They are dicing him up first pitch. You're gonna get my best stuff first pitch. You're not gonna get all this. Here's a 95 mile an hour fastball outside in a way where you could just take it or inside. No, he's getting quality pitches
yeah.
early
Mhm.
and then putting him in a position where he's got to go ahead and golf, which I like. I like you're gonna use his aggressiveness to your advantage first pitch.
Yeah.
So if he can make that adjustment, which I know it's hard because you've been doing it all season, to not turn and burn, but we'll see in Game 6 what he does tonight in his at bats.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, if he turns it around, he turns it around. But if there's a time to do so, Seager, it's tonight.
It's right now.
It's tonight. And now another good thing about Texas Rangers is the two games that they won. They did win game 1 and 2 with both of their aces or their number 1 and number 2 pitchers on the mound.
Very, very
Which
true.
who they will be having pitching again tonight. I
Yeah.
believe it was. Unless they changed it, but tonight it was confirmed that Monty will be pitching Game 6.
Yep.
Jordan Montgomery, for those that don't know, and then Eovaldi will be if it gets to Game 7. Eovaldi will be pitching Game 7.
Bro.
So it could be a thing that they're. I mean, I hope that's not the game plan. I mean, I guess now it is because you're already down 3-2. I hope the game plan since Game 2 was just trying to scrape some wins out. But if your game plan was, listen, we're gonna do what we can behind our aces, and then the rest of the ways, like whatever, pretty bad game plan. You're now down 3-2, Game 6. You're going and listen. Jordan Montgomery hasn't lost in the playoffs. That doesn't mean that will start now.
Who?
That Jordan Montgomery has
Who?
not lost in MLB in any game that he's pitched in the playoffs.
Yo, who gave this man up?
Cashman.
Okay, let's not forget that. Okay.
Brian
Wait,
Cashman.
wait, Evaldi? Evaldi?
Evaldi, another Yankee as
Oh my
well. Evaldi is not lossless in the playoffs, but I believe if I'm correct, Evaldi is like 8-1 in the playoffs.
That's gross. Say it, it's gross.
Yeah, yeah. Both former.
Both Yankees are in the freaking playoffs
Oh no,
right
these
now.
playoffs is filled with the Yankees.
It's insane.
and and
It's
and from the first
insane.
game of the playoffs has been filled with the Yankees and Yankees performing. Aaron Hicks hit a home run his first at bat with Baltimore.
Yo,
We got
insane.
Monty and Eovaldi doing their thing. I mean, I- even though he is kind of shaky, no one has yet to score a run on Chapman.
That's
So
gross.
you know, a lot of these guys.
Yo,
Oh
what?
wait. When they were in the series, Milwaukee, Donaldson had like 2 home runs.
I did see that. I did see that.
So it's
That's
like,
insane.
we're giving you guys ammo to win these games. So even though we did what we did and not manage these guys very well, I want most of you guys to thank the New York Yankees for the ammo that we presented to you guys. All right, because you guys
That is
you guys are winning
insane.
games with our former players. All right.
Yeah.
That being said, we're gonna wrap this up. Rangers tonight. I mean, obviously it's do or die, but
Yeah,
you guys
yeah,
got to figure it out. Now, Bruce Bochy, I know what you're capable of, so it wouldn't be surprising to me if they somehow do win these next 2 games.
Oh,
But I just want to see how it's won.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
very
yeah.
important to me, especially being that the team that you're possibly or potentially going to first verse is those boys from Philly, the Philadelphia Phillies, and we all
Yeah, yeah.
know
Philly
how
on
they
fire.
are constructed. Philadelphia Phillies know the like word for word definition of a home field advantage. These guys, when they step into Citizens Bank Park in the outskirts of Philadelphia, they just know what to do and how to do it. I just feel like when they're in Philly, because I know they lost 1 or 2 games in Arizona. I mean, they managed to get game
Yeah, yeah,
5 in
yeah.
Arizona, so they at least
Mhm.
won that battle. You took one away from them.
Yeah.
Um, it's like they step into Philadelphia and they're just like, yeah, no, we know how to beat you.
Game over.
Um,
Game.
how are you feeling about that series? I
Yo,
know
that's a hell of a series. Hell of a series. And like what I said, baby, yo, not one, not two, but three. Who's that? Shorby? Shorby? Did they just wake him up? What I say not to do? I said
you said
don't
it.
wake him up.
You said it.
I
Word
said
for word.
don't wake him up. My
Word for
boy
word.
got not one, not two, but three. He's hot. My boy is on
Scorching.
fire, scorching hot. They're going back to back with Shorby and Harper. It's insane. It's insane. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And even though at the beginning of the series they were going crazy, Nick and Trey have kind of cooled down a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit.
yeah. I think he went like 0 for
So
3.
Arizona kind of has to be happy about that. But you do not want to wake those 2 guys up
No, no,
because
no.
now Bryce and Schwarber literally scorching hot, and then you wake up Nick and Trey. You might as
Yeah.
well just give it up,
I feel like they're taking turns right now because Nick was doing his thing.
like rock paper scissors.
Facts. Hey, oh, you won? I bet. Go
All right,
ahead.
but
Go
tonight's
crazy.
tonight's your night. Pause.
But what I'm saying is don't let all four go ahead and go crazy. Cause then it's really over.
Not only that, it's game 6, game 7. Same thing with Texas, right? Philly's gonna have their ace. Well, all teams are, but Philly's are gonna have their aces.
Yeah, yeah,
Who
yeah.
game 1 and game 2 were literally lights out. So they're back in Philly. They got their aces. Most of their bats are hot.
No.
Does Arizona have a chance of pulling out of the series?
Not a
No,
chance.
not at all.
Not a
Very
chance.
slim.
Very at 10%.
That's very slim. Um, listen.
Yo,
I don't even know
Philly,
what to
Philly
say.
going crazy.
They're going nuts. I know they had a run similar. I don't want to say similar. I think this run is way more impressive than last year. But I know their
Yeah,
run last year was bonkers, right?
yeah, stupid.
But I love what I'm seeing. It's a lot of the thing is it's like it seems like I guess last year's loss in the World Series matured these guys
Oh,
because like I
100%.
mentioned earlier, it just seems like they're going into these games and in their mind or in their face, you could tell that we already figured out how to beat you guys today.
Word.
Now, we have to go out and execute it because obviously they end up losing game 3 and 4 in Arizona.
Yeah.
Now it wasn't like Arizona did what they were supposed to do. They were like game winners. They were scrap out
Yeah,
games
yeah,
for
yeah.
Arizona to pull out as victorious. But if Arizona didn't do what they did, we would be already trying to determine who are the Philadelphia Phillies versing against in the World Series,
100%.
because that's how good and how locked in these boys are. Yeah, I'm
So I have a question for you. Do you think that um Scherzer comes in tonight? Do you think he comes in for Texas?
um
Or is that like a close call where they save him for game 7?
I think if need be, yes. Now I will say this: Scherzer did not look comfortable. Game whatever that was 4.
Yeah, he looked a little
I
rocky.
understand that at this point it's kind of whatever, all arms on deck.
Word,
I
word,
get
word.
it, but against Houston, once Houston figures someone out, or it is a psychological thing as well. Once Houston is in certain pitchers' mind, I don't want I don't want them to manipulate that.
That is true too.
And now I'm not saying that Houston is in Scherzer's mind because I know Scherzer he's a veteran, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
probably
yeah.
not easy to brace his brain like that, but it just seems like he was uncomfortable, and I'm not allowing him to go back out there. Probably still not comfortable, and allowing Houston, and especially in the run that they're having, to
To lose on his downfall to that.
But if it's one of those things like it's inning 7, Texas is up 5-2, and we really don't want to use any bullpen guys because game 7 we're gonna try to do that. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe I'll throw Scherzer like yo. We just need you to
With a
give us
lead.
a solid one, like 3 outs. Just give us 3 outs,
Yeah.
and we'll move from there. I see something like that. If they're down, I'm not saying they won't, but I wouldn't
You would
throw
not.
Scherzer out there.
Now I would want to know because hey, these are calls that you're thinking about that need to be made.
Right.
You got to see how the game goes. You're saying, hey, 5-2 lead. I'm throwing them in there. If they're behind,
Yeah.
not so much.
Yeah.
And that's the call that we're gonna see the manager of Texas have to make. Is he gonna make it in Game 6 where we gotta win Game
Yeah.
6?
Correct.
Game
Correct.
6 is a must. We can't think about Game 7. So it'll
Yeah.
be it'll be fun to see that little chess match and how they move with the bullpen, how they move with their pitcher going today, and it should be a lot of fun.
It is. I'm expecting. I'm not even expecting a pitching duel. I'm expecting a manager duel. One man. Both these managers are experienced managers. They have World Series under their belts. They're gonna play chess out there,
There,
and
yeah,
and it's gonna be fun
definitely.
to watch. It's gonna be fun to watch. Um, we're gonna stay on baseball for this last question, and the question that I'm going to ask you is: are we basically seeing a 2022-2022 World Series rematch?
Um, I
With
want to see it.
you do.
I want to see it, and I want to see Philly win. I want to see them get their lick back. I want to see them win.
Okay. So I see it too. I like I said, I think Houston's closing out, and I think Philly's closing out tomorrow. We're gonna see Houston Phillies once again in the World Series. And again, agreeing with you, I not only do I want to see, it's I need it. I'm done. I'm done with Houston. All right, like
Yeah,
I'm the disgruntled uh
yeah,
Yankee fan that is just tired of seeing this quote unquote dynasty. I don't think it's a dynasty, but we're just gonna call it that because they have been dominating for the
yeah.
past 7 years. So
Yep.
I'm tired of it. Phillies look like they might have a chance this year to
They
do
got
what
it.
we
They
all
got
want them
a
to do. So
legitimate shot.
correct. So yeah, I think it is a rematch, and I'm going for the Phillies. I'm going for the
Yeah,
Phillies.
yeah,
Transitioning now to college football, and what a day! Not too many games were that impressive or interesting, but let me tell you, there were a few that just got you thinking,
yeah.
right? And once again, Eli and Ray strike once
Again?
again with what we've been
No
telling you
way.
guys. I will start with USC losing again, and I don't really remember the team. I'm gonna be honest with you, but they lose in a last second fashion on another field
Field
goal.
goal.
Another field goal. Now
Insane.
that's, I believe, if I'm correct, because obviously so many episodes, so many editing, my mind just has everything flowing through it. I believe that's 2 weeks in a row that USC loses by last second field goal. if not at least twice in the last 3 weeks.
Bad.
Now, the thing is, not too sure if you could really read, because I know it's kind of small on our docket. I'm not going to say they played a perfect game, but they didn't. Or no, let me switch that. I'm not going to say they played a horrible game, but they didn't play a perfect game. Caleb didn't throw any interceptions,
Okay.
but he also didn't throw any touchdowns.
She.
All touchdowns were scored rushing,
Okay.
right? Now, that being said, they kind of banked on the rushing, right? They fumbled 3 times. Only one ended up being recovered, but you can't be fumbling the ball 3 times
Yeah, it doesn't put you in a position to go forward.
if you're banking on because cool, let's say, you fumble 3 times, they only recovered one. But that probably means that the first 2 fumbles or the 2 fumbles they didn't recover probably resulted in a loss of yards.
Yep.
So, let's take that to consideration.
Yeah.
On top of that, being that Caleb was at no point the reason why you guys won, in my opinion. He goes 24-34, which to a lot of people, and to be honest, to myself, it's not that crazy. It's not a bad stat,
No.
but I didn't watch the game. So in my mind, those 10 miss like incompletions,
Yeah.
what was the magnitude of those incompletions? Like, were they wide open? Were they drop passes? Were into coverage?
Yeah.
I would have to go back, check the highlights, kind of see what's going on. I didn't obviously I did check the highlights, but I want to know each one of those 10 incompletions and what resulted. You know,
Yeah.
like what was the magnitude of those? Because that can mean a lot of things in my eyes as to the potential near future for USC. Because right now it doesn't look too bright for them.
Yeah, I think we're giving them a little bit too much airtime, We're gonna have to pick a different team.
Um, no, well, I'm with you because I think I'm starting to get into the mode where I'm kind of done with the Pac-12.
Yeah, yeah,
Between
yeah.
Colorado, Oregon, and USC, we've spoken
A
about these
lot.
3 teams way too much, especially Colorado, because once again, that seems to be the story of the year. But it's just I'm here trying to debunk the hype with some of these teams because
I'm with you.
I know USC, and obviously they got Caleb Williams, which we all think is going to be either, if not the winner of the Heisman Trophy, at least a top candidate for it, and as well as projecting to be a top 3 pick for the NFL draft. So a lot of hype, a lot of stock is behind Caleb Williams, and as well as this USC team because it's not just him. They do have some dogs, they have some receivers and stuff like that, but you guys are coming short in a lot of games. So if we are going
I
to,
mean, they got daddy smacked by Notre Dame. Don't forget.
yeah, for sure. If we're gonna sit here, and I don't mean me and Eli, I just mean like the sports world in general. If we're gonna sit here and be very critical to Colorado, then I expect people to be critical with USC because they're coming up short in regards to the hype that's been around them.
Yeah, 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 and a better team
Constructed,
constructed a better team. So
um, but like we're gonna get off. But I do want to ask this very. It might be intricate, but I think it's a simple question, right? Because of Caleb's stat line, no TDs, no interceptions, but no TDs. And 10 incompletions. Does USC need Caleb Williams to be a part of the scoring stat sheet for them to win games?
he is your quote unquote best player. He needs a little bit more than just 24 completions to go ahead and win. So either he's getting it himself, rushing it, or he's making plays for his wide receivers to get them open. I don't see him scoring no tutties and them winning that way.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a recipe for success.
All right. Just wanted to pick your brain. I agree with you. I think he has to be a part of it. Either a rushing touchdown, a throwing touchdown. Obviously, preferably a rushing touchdown. I mean, excuse me, a throwing touchdown because USC can obviously score with him not rushing.
True.
Correct. So we can obviously see that, but we are going to need him with his arm pick apart defenses and put the ball in the end zone. So
Correct.
I'm with you on that. All right, staying in college football, we have 2 teams. We're just going to talk about 2 teams real quick because all the other top 25s basically did what they were supposed to do. But there was 2 particular games. Now these teams still ended up coming up victorious, but it's how the game ended, right? I'm going to start with Ohio State. Ohio State, for pretty much most of the season,
LeBron James. Okay.
have been, yeah, right, have been bum rushing through teams.
Yeah.
This week, or yesterday, or by the time this episode comes out 2 days ago, they finally get tested with a top 10 team themselves, which is Penn State. Another team, I mean, literally last week, Penn State won by 62 points. So not only are they getting tested, it's a formidable test. It's not no slouch. It's
No.
not no top 10 team that's not a real top 10 team like certain
That
teams that are in the top 10.
yeah.
But we're not going to get into that, right? Now, Ohio State still comes out with the win. I believe it was like 17-10 or some ish like that. But I think it was impressive.
I'm with you.
I think it's impressive.
With
Top 10
you.
team, a team that, now it's one of those conferences is blue collar.
Yeah.
I think it's the Big Ten if I'm correct. Blue collar, like Penn State is not no slouch, right?
Nope.
It was a war out there. It was war, and you
Yeah.
still come out victorious. That to me, that's very impressive, because now that tells me obviously a lot can happen.
Yeah, that's
But that
true.
tells me if you go up against the Georgias and the Florida States and those other top 4 teams, you have a good chance of winning.
Yeah.
You've been tested. You came out victorious. You figured it out.
Got a little taste of it.
Right. I can expect you to do it with the top dogs.
Yep. That's a good test. Penn State's definitely a good marker for you to see if you can hang in with the big dogs.
Yeah, for sure. On the other side, in the the Atlantic Coast Conference. I'm not going to say conference twice like that. Florida State ends up playing against Duke, right?
Mm-hmm.
They beat Duke, and it was at the end of the game they won 38 to like 20, I think it was. So they ended up winning by a decent margin, but until halftime, Duke actually at half was leading. I think it was 2017. So they actually, unfortunately for Duke, I think that was the score if I'm correct. Unfortunately for Duke, they didn't score the second half. But for the first half, they had Florida State on check,
Yeah.
which let me go back and say this. Along with Ohio State and Penn State was also bum rushing through teams. I'm talking about their winning margin per game is like 30 points.
Yeah. I remember you saying about
Right?
Florida State.
So Florida State is going through teams like they don't even exist, right? Duke, very good to me,
Yeah.
very decent team. I know they lose to Notre Dame, or I think they beat Notre Dame if I'm correct, but they played good teams. They played good teams. They have good wins. They're still in the top 25. Duke is doing their thing. This was a good test for Duke. If Duke would have came out victorious, people would have to conversate about Duke a little bit more, especially being that North Carolina ends up losing another top 25 team that yeah. So listen, the ACC, no one's really talking about it, but if I'm correct, as of now, because obviously Monday they changed the rankings. As of now, they have 4 or 5 teams in the top 25.
Okay.
So the ACC quietly is doing their thing. I know Duke lost, but they lost to Florida State, so they're probably not gonna be out of the top 25.
Nope.
Notre Dame ends up winning. North Carolina, you did lose and you lost to an unranked team that might hurt them, but we'll see.
Definitely.
We'll see what happens tomorrow. But that being said, Florida State, I kind of just want to put them up there to give you guys your flowers. You guys are doing pretty well. You guys have been put up against some teams that can give you
give you some problems. Give
Yeah.
you some
and
challenge.
you guys are passing the test with flying colors. Now, the only thing is, I'm not gonna be too worried, but I do want to say like, if you're kind of struggling at least for a half against Duke.
Yeah.
I can't really expect much from you guys against the top dogs. Like, if you guys go against Penn State or Ohio State or the Georgias, I'm going to assume that you're going to have some issues.
Yeah.
Because even though, yes, you did what you did against all the other teams this year and still ended up beating Duke by 18, it is Duke.
Yeah.
It's not Ohio State, it's not Penn State, it's not
No.
Georgia, it's not Alabama.
It seems to me they figured it out in that second half.
Yeah.
On what to do.
They made the adjustments just to win the game, but
Yeah.
we're gonna stick to football, but now we're gonna switch to the pro level.
Yeah.
And it's been a fun week and a half. Starting off with last week, week 7,
Damn.
Eagles and 49ers finally going down and ending the perfect record streak for both teams on the same day, which is crazy.
On the same day.
'Cause I remember, I think we were already filming by the time the 49ers were losing or lost. So we were kind of like, wow, the Eagles are the last standing team.
Yeah.
Little did we know by 4 p.m.
Woo.
Well, the game started at 4 p.m., but probably like around 7.
Yeah.
Down goes the Philadelphia Eagles. what you got to say about this?
Oh boy, I mean, I'm gonna say a couple things because I know people. I mean, podcasting wise, everyone has a debate. Oh, is my guy number 13 Brock Purdy the man? So I want to break that down a little bit, only because guess what? My guy, the running back, he is 85% of that offense. Am I right? So I feel like, hey, he comes out, he gets hurt, he gets oblique injury, and he's out. You're staggering because majority of the plays, check downs, and whatever runs through him. So he struggled, and guess what? The Browns' defense is really that. So I'm like, I get it. I get the struggle. Cool. Here's the thing. Last drive, what do? He came up big, put them in position to score, and my guy missed it.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, he missed it. But as a quarterback, last drive, 2 minutes to go, that's what you're made of. You show me bad game, all game through 3 quarters. All right, wash it away. Show me the 2 minute drill, get down the field. Brock Purdy, without his man, went down the field and put him in field goal range. And it wasn't like it was a 50, a 55,
Do
a
you,
60.
do you remember what I told you while they were happening? Like, did I tell? Do you remember what this compared to, or
I
what,
know.
or what
I
I said
know.
this compared to?
So my thing is like that's a quarterback. That is a high level quarterback. Struggled all game. Through adversity, your guy's out. All right, what do you make of it? And he went ahead down the field. I get it, they missed, but you want that. That's a learning lesson. That whole team, learning lesson. Let's see what they do today. But these Eagles, my boy, three, not one, not two, 3 interceptions. Jalen Hurts is tied with the most interceptions through 6 weeks at 7. That is gross.
I saw that. To
Gross.
put it in perspective, Mac Jones is up there,
Gross.
and I mean we're 2-5 now, but at the time we were 1-5.
I am just saying. I am just saying. I've said it. I get the offense is new. You got a new offensive coordinator. Some of his throws and progressions do not look the same. And I always challenge his arm. I'm like, his accuracy, I challenge it all the time. I get it. Some of these passes to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are like, mwah, chef kiss.
Yeah.
But the every down throw is sketchy. And that's what I'm saying. That the line there's 2 guys there for that last interception. 2 guys there. That progression, if everyone sees it, we're not throwing it to him. But he threw it anyways in that tight window, and guess what? We're going the other way in that game.
Yeah, so I'm with you.
And they got to go ahead. I get it. I get it. Their defense is really, really shaking up back there. They don't got their guys like they normally do. I get it.
Yeah.
They're injured. They're down injured.
Unfortunately.
But your best player, the quarterback of your team, should not throw 3 interceptions to go ahead and basically lose the game.
Yeah, that's not a recipe to win games. That's not at all. Regardless of what they did throughout the game, if your quarterback, listen, you can win games all you want. If you have 3 interceptions, I think you're putting yourself in a position of losing games more than winning games if you're throwing 3 interceptions. So I'm definitely with you on the Purdy situation. I know a lot of people are not a lot of people, but I've heard a few people like, oh, he's not him. He's been disguised this that and the third. And I'm not gonna completely disregard that point. That could be true, but just like Eli said, I think he gave us enough examples where I think we should believe in Purdy. Maybe he's a little young, so maybe certain situations where he should be finishing the game, he doesn't. He hasn't figured that out just yet. But listen, through adversity, he got you down the field. Your kicker was supposed to ice the game, and or seal the deal, and he didn't. Like, it just happened. That's just how the cookie crumbles. Now, how impressive is that win for Cleveland? I'm not too sure. They still end up winning this week, but they win by 1 point against the Colts, who don't have AR-15. So,
Yeah.
you know,
And they gave up a lot.
correct. So we can chalk it up to maybe it was just the Browns playing a great game.
Hey, well, when you're undefeated, you're gonna get
Oh,
your best game.
everybody's coming with their A game, mind you. They didn't
Garrett
have
was coming for his
and I
head.
don't think they had Deshaun either. So
No, they did
right,
not.
so even without Deshaun, they still managed to scrape out a win, which is very very impressive. But like we both said, every team, regardless of their situation, they're gonna come out with not just their A game, their S game.
Yeah,
Their S tier game, they're coming out with it. All right, because you are who you are. We want to be the first ones to knock you off, and we're gonna figure that out.
and they did.
And the Eagles' perspective, like I already said, I agree with Eli. Those 3 interceptions is not a no go. Uh,
And you got the chance. I think, like I said, a minute and whatever. You got the drive. You go ahead and down and score. You win.
yeah,
You're Jalen Hurts. You're the Eagles.
you were supposed to be that
Undefeated.
guy. Like he said, you're Jalen Hurts. Last drive, you're supposed to be that guy to take this team down the
Down
field
the field.
and win this game. And
Correct.
unfortunately, you didn't. To your point about these deep bombs that are juicy, to Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, I think I'm giving Smith and Brown more credit. Because I'm taking your point, and because I do think you're right. He's not that accurate. So he does have an arm, but he's not accurate with that arm. So he has two very dynamic wide receivers where in his mind, listen, I just need to throw this up. Go get it. So
I
I
like that.
I, I think I want to give Smith and Brown not too much credit. I'm just gonna give them credit
I
to
mean, some of these catches
yeah,
they
yeah,
made were
certain
insane.
extent because let- those
AJ Brown is looking like a top 10 receiver.
Those two guys, yeah, those two
Disgusting.
guys can make to bust one move and that's it. Now there's 5 yards in between him and the DB, and let me tell you
Yeah.
that 5 yards is way more than enough for these guys to make a play.
Good luck.
And if I'm Jalen Hurts, forget about me trying to be accurate. I'm just throwing it. Go get it.
Yeah.
So
100%.
I don't want to take too much flowers from him because again they are 5-1. You are no longer undefeated, but you are 5-1 tonight. Though you guys do play Miami Dolphins, which are also 5-1, and with a defense that Eli just mentioned that is going through what do you call this? Injuries.
Injuries within their secondary, within their D backs, their linebackers. Hey, they got Mostart, who's been dead kill.
And you got
Good luck stopping the run, and good luck with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Your secondary, be warned. Be warned.
they are going. I'm gonna
I
tell
don't
you
know
right
which
now.
one you want to stop, but good luck.
You pick one, and if I was you, I'd probably pick the receivers because allowing Tyreek literally average 200 yards per game is insane.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, they better get to. They better get to Tua. That is their only chance. I've been saying it all
Yeah.
season. You get to the quarterback, it allows your secondary to buy some time because guess what? If you let him drop back, whoa, what happened? You're looking at the time. What happened? Whoa, we bugging out, girl. Did you get some drugs?
Mm.
If you allow Tua to drop back and have more than 3 seconds, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
you're losing.
Have a day.
You better for all 4 quarters. You better be on Tua. He better be on his back every play, because if not, he's gonna chew them.
And we probably should start giving the Dolphins some that offensive line some credit, man. I know we've been talking about the Eagles and the Detroits, but to your, to your point, if teams can't really get to Tua, we need to. I mean, it could also be play calling, with shotguns and play action plays and stuff like that. I get that plays a role, but hey, that offensive line must be doing something right if they really can't get to Tua.
If they're out here running the ball the way they're running the ball, and being able to pass the ball the way they're passing the ball, that offensive line is doing a great job. And we'll see if they show up today, because that front four of Eagles, like I said with the Rams, I'm like, hey, you go ahead, you give some time to Stafford, he will he will go ahead and do it.
Yeah,
Guess what they did second half? Nah, we're knocking you on your ass. You're not gonna throw the ball.
we're figuring this out.
So guess what? If they can do it for 4 quarters, I can see the Eagles winning. But if they do not do it, they will get blown out. That secondary is no bueno.
Um, yeah. So that was a fun way to end last week in football. Now this week, there's already been a lot going on. I know there's a lot of games. Like, let me pull this up real quick. I know there's a lot of games happening right now. But for the 1 o'clock games, listen, the Lions, I don't know what just happened.
What the fudge happened?
Another 5-1 team, right? And you go out there when I'm talking about flat against the Baltimore Ravens.
Yo, insane.
Yo,
Insane.
I do not understand what I was watching.
Make that make sense.
And then what made it worse, right? I'm not saying they have one of the greatest defenses because we can argue that maybe they don't. Maybe they're middle of the pack with the Lions, right? But the Ravens were out there just like they look like week 2 or week 3, whatever that week that they scored like 40 or 70 points. They look like those
Yeah.
the Dolphins. Like they were just out there just
Running
everything was being executed.
running it up. And you know what it is? The Dolphins the Dolphins. I'm stuck on them. The Lions defense, what makes that defense is really their front four. That's what really makes their defense, because that secondary is really their corners. They're really not that good. So they, when you want to go ahead and beat them through the air, you can. You will beat them through the air. And that was the thing. You had Odell go crazy and have 50 yards. You had freaking Zay Flowers have 60.
I
You
think
had
I think Gus had 2 touchdowns.
he
Gus
had
Edwards.
80 receiving
Yeah,
yards.
yeah,
Like when you allow that to happen, it's a recipe for disaster. And they could not get to they couldn't get to
Lamar.
Lamar at all. And when he's scrambling and he's doing his thing, throwing, and when he's throwing
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and completing,
This is
good
the
luck.
game that should be used as an example of not to allow Lamar
Yeah,
Jackson
yeah,
to do.
yeah, yeah,
Like exactly what Detroit allowed Lamar to do is what teams shouldn't allow him to
yeah,
do.
yeah.
Because this time losing 38 to 6, this kind of things happen when Lamar
Sure.
does what he did today.
Yeah.
And that's unacceptable.
No, 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 no,
It's
no.
unacceptable. And I have a strange feeling because I know this week in sports was a big thing about 4 or 5 teams at 5-1. Oh, how are the Lions so they're so surprisingly good, this, that, and the third. And I just have a strange feeling that this kind of stuff got to them,
Yeah.
and they probably feeling themselves. They get up to Baltimore because I think it was at Baltimore. Yeah, it was at Baltimore. They get up to Baltimore and
I mean, not for nothing. When you go to Baltimore, their defense is always going to be there.
yeah,
And when you got their defense and you got their offense rolling the way they got it, you got to bring your A game. And I feel like with Baltimore, they're up and down, up and down. I get it. I get it. A game like this,
yeah.
we would not. No one predicted
No
that
one,
they were going to put
nobody,
freaking 40 points
nobody.
on their head.
The only thing
But that doesn't mean you go out there and give up 40.
correct. So that's the thing. We're not expecting this from the Ravens, but we're also not expecting Detroit just a 5-1 team to go out there and just be like, yeah, just score 40 on us.
That insane to me. Insane.
The only thing this tells me though, I might be a little bit afraid for the Lions because then this kind of puts you guys back on earth. It's kind of like,
It's good for them.
yeah, it will humble you guys a little bit. But I think this kind of tells me though, just like you said, I know they're up and down, but I have a strange feeling that if Baltimore catches their stride, a lot of teams are probably not going to be wanting to play against them.
Oh no. You like Odell's been hurt majority of the season, and he had a couple good catches for good runs. When you got Zay Flowers he's doing basically their number one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then I like how they're starting to add Mark Andrews into the play. I need to see him. The past 2-3 years, I'm like, where is the top 5 tight end
Yeah.
in Mark Andrews? And guess
For real.
what? My boy got into the end zone and he was part of that offense. Scary, 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 scary. So I if they can piece that together, not in a sense of dropping 40 every game, but that recipe where they're using all their guys and allowing Lamar to be Lamar and run, good luck.
Yeah, but just like you said, it's like they're figuring out, they're implementing their pieces that they should be implementing. A lot of these teams, and this could be. Listen, my point about first stringers playing a little bit more during the preseason
Yeah.
is looking a little bit, juicier by the weeks come because there's a lot of teams out there still not figuring out how to use their top position players. For example, Dallas is having an issue with using CeeDee Lamb as their number one receiver, and I don't know why because this guy is magical, right?
Yeah.
Brock Purdy and them, as even though they're doing great, and obviously it's not your first option. CMC is your first option, but not a lot is happening with Debo,
Yeah.
right? And now I know he's hurt or something like I think he
Yeah.
didn't play this week, but still not too much is happening on Debo. You only had one good game with Ayuk, so it was kind of like what's going on over there. Again, it could be that CMC is the focal point of the offense. And listen, I understand that, but at some point, Debo's Debo. You're gonna have to
Yeah. Yeah.
implement him in the
Yeah.
offense, right? We have, even though they're figuring it out. AJ Brown got no play for the first 3-4 weeks of the season. Now it's like AJ Brown this, AJ Brown that, but it
I
it,
mean, I
it
feel
took
like that was after game 2 when they were like, AJ Brown's like, "Hey, I'm him. Give me the
yeah,
ball."
yeah, yeah.
And like 4 weeks, it's 125 yards.
Well, yeah, you're right.
So
He's
no,
been
no,
going
he's
nuts.
getting force fed. But that's what that I know what you mean. Like, hey, I'm the man. Give me the ball, and I'm gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
And he's so far so good.
You just mentioned Baltimore. It took them a little while, but they're finally implementing Mark Andrews because looking at their receiving core, yeah,
Who to throw to? You know what I mean?
I'm gonna add the tight ends to that quote unquote receiving core. But
Oh, 100%.
Odell, he gets hurt every other game. Zay
Yep.
Flowers, it looks like even though he's a speedster, they're kind of locking him up. Or maybe he just can't get to his breaks, but it's not really happening. But then you got Mark Andrews, like you just mentioned, top five tight end. This guy figured, and he's a veteran. He's gonna figure it out. He's gonna get open, make plays. You just got to get the ball to him.
Well,
You
it's
know,
also being healthy because they're running backs. Freaking what's his name is hurt in the running back position, and like now you have Gus who had an amazing game. Who we
correct.
thought wasn't going to do that, and you got Odell healthy. You got these guys that. When it comes all together, it looks good. You can't just have Zay Flowers be the number one when Odell's hurt and Mark Andrews is not part of the offense. Because guess what? Zay Flowers is getting doubled.
Right,
Good luck
right, right, right.
because he's not like certain players need some help. When you have Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Odell, Gus doing what they're doing, guess what? Now that's four players you got to key on. Pick one, because one of them is gonna win. Now when you just got Zay
For sure,
and then no one,
for
well,
sure.
guess what? I'm keying on him. And same thing goes with CeeDee Lamb. And there, who do I give the ball to? I'm giving it to CeeDee Lamb. Well, guess what? CeeDee Lamb, here's two big dogs. One on you, sticking you, and then one right behind you. Guess what? You beat him, I got someone waiting for you.
Yeah.
So like they gotta find a way to give him the ball because he is electric when he gets the ball. But how are you gonna do that? How are you gonna beat the defense when they have two guys on you? You got to figure it out.
Uh, yes, I think you're right. But now something just came to mind when you said that. Use that to your advantage. If they're gonna force a double team on your best guy, like your Dallas, right? You let go of Zeke and you're fully invested in Pollard. Pollard is a great catching
Yeah,
runner back, so start playing some out routes or something with him, right? Schultz, he's not a top five, but Schultz is a top 10 tight end. Like
yeah, he's good.
I would probably expect some kind of plays for him. You know what I'm saying, dudes? Baltimore, I think you have enough pieces to look at the playbook of someone like the Miami Dolphins and try to figure something out. You got 4 or 5 potential pieces you could do something with. If they double team Zay Flowers, okay, I still got Odell when healthy. I still got Mark when healthy. I still got Mark Andrews again when healthy. You
Yeah.
know, like I feel like if your best player is being double teamed, okay, now let me use that to my advantage because now that allows you to use up 2 or 3 of your DBs, meaning someone else has to be open,
Yeah.
or I can create a play where I can start Swiss cheese in your defense with someone else.
Or instead of having CeeDee Lamb in the freaking out, put him in the slant.
True.
Put him in a slot. Put him in a slot. Let him work. You know, because guess what? Let him go ahead and get some work in there because he has some more wiggle room.
Right.
You know,
Right. Right. Right.
so I don't know. Some of these quick throws to get him the ball, get him going, and then move him around.
Yeah.
I just feel like they're really not using him to his potential. Pollard's not even having a great year. He's also struggling. That whole offense is struggling.
Yeah.
The only reason why they're winning is because of their defense, and I
And
get it,
barely.
and barely. So like we're gonna see, right? I think they got to buy this week, right?
I believe so.
So they got to buy, well, they need it because They are struggling. Dak, I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with Dak. I think he might have to leave. That's a tough one.
That is, I
And what's his name? Parsons on his podcast is like, hey, Jalen Hurts is getting all this heat.
or not,
Purdy
right?
Purdy. I mean, he's not
Nah,
getting
nah, nah,
enough
nah.
heat.
Yeah.
And Purdy, and look what he did. But I feel like every circumstance is different. Let's be honest. Jalen Hurts, one good year, which was last year. The year before that, not so good. This year, not so good. She's had one good year where
Mhm.
everybody's now Jalen Hurts, Jalen Hurts, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we can't just buy into Jalen Hurts. So I get his point. I see his point. Brock Purdy, hey, last pick.
Hmm.
Last
For real.
pick. He goes ahead, cool.
And
I don't care, game manager or not, whoever wants to say, goes down the field as you want him to do, put your team in position to win.
last pick, and if I'm correct, he already has more playoff wins than Dak.
That, bro, he's tied with Daniel Jones with playoff wins. Who is Daniel Jones? And I'm a Giants fan. We won today without him.
Right.
Insane. So no, Dak Prescott's been in the game for 8 years. 8 years
I would expect for you to figure it out by this point.
with
Or
good teams
yeah.
to win. Who's in the East that you cannot beat with that good of an offense? When you had Zeke Eaton, when you had Cooper, when you had CeeDee Lamb, when you had these dogs,
You guys fumble. That's when they
I
really
don't
fumbled it.
understand.
That's when you had a two-headed dragon at the backfield. You had a
Insane.
two-headed dragon with Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, and you guys had not saying you guys had the greatest defense, but you had a
But
good defense, and
100%.
somehow couldn't figure it out. Couldn't figure it out. Couldn't figure it out. And again, I do. Oh my gosh, what's the word here? I do agree with Parsons. I think all his points were very valid. But listen, I'm gonna talk to you real quick, Parsons. You are playing on America's team. Like everything is gonna be scrutinized. Everything is gonna be put at a different limelight. You, as the team that you are, got to figure out how to probably. I get that it might be annoying because you're hearing it week in and week out.
100%.
But listen, you got to figure out how to tone that type of shit out and go back to your winning ways. Like those,
Yeah.
again, I know you're not as healthy and there's a lot of variables at play, but that doesn't mean you guys go out there and allow the outside noise to affect you and lose games because of it. Not saying that that is the reason why, but don't give that, or don't give the outside noise the ammo to be the reason why you're losing games. You know what I'm saying? You
100%.
guys got to figure it out. And like I started my point with, you guys are the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott is your quarterback, and we are in a league where quarterbacks run this league. So if Dak Prescott is not the reason why you're winning games, you guys are not gonna win games.
Correct.
That's just how it goes, you know. Now, if you guys somehow end up being the 2001 Baltimore Ravens, where you guys win games by defense, because Brent Trent or whatever his name is, he was kind of just a filler quarterback. He just did what he was supposed to do. They won because of that defense. If you guys play like that, I got nothing to say.
Yeah.
But as of now, you're in a league where QBs are the reason why teams are winning, and Dak's not the reason why you guys are winning.
No.
That's all I
It's
gotta
it's
say.
literally credit to you, Parsons, and that
Basically,
defense.
basically.
You
You guys
know?
are the reason why Dak is being camouflaged behind how great you guys are playing defensively.
Yeah.
And I don't really think he's playing that bad, but he's not playing as good as he should be.
Yeah. You're Dak Prescott. You literally you got the bag. So let's figure it
It's a
out.
quarterback driven league. And like Eli said, 8 years in, I probably expect you. Someone, who was it? I think it was what's this guy's name from the herd, right? Dallas is giving Dak a lot of backup, a lot of praise. Bro, Garoppolo comes in. He said Garoppolo comes in and makes the Super Bowl. The next year he's out. Right?
Uh-huh.
Who was it? Deshaun Watson wins like 16 games or whatever the heck with now I understand he had his old scandal, but he's no longer with Houston. Right? You know, you had dudes, we have all these dudes that make it to the Super Bowl with some team, and
Oh,
now they're in a different
golf was with the
golf.
Rams.
Makes it, loses to the Rams, Obviously, now he's in Detroit. They ended up winning with Matthew Stafford, so that kind of doesn't help golf on. But still, you made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You unfortunately just ran up against Tom Brady, Bill Belichick,
Yeah.
and the New England Patriots, right? So there's a lot of quarterbacks out there that made it to the big game. Regardless if they won or didn't win, they're no longer in that team. Dak, you haven't sniffed a Super Bowl. You're
No.
still on the same team, right? And what's crazy is I'm actually one of those dudes that believe in Dak. Like I believe in you. I think you're a good quarterback. I won't say a great quarterback, right? But 8 years in with one team, you're gonna have to start figuring it out, bro.
Yeah.
And you've had, or if not, at least you have a couple pieces that help you win games. But they need you to be Lamar Jackson. I don't know. Like you just got to figure it out and be a top tier quarterback for this.
I don't think he has to be Lamar. I just think he needs to just be above average.
Or,
Like
or
the,
just they're just better than what you're playing right now because
yeah, he I don't even know with how to pinpoint it because everyone wants to talk about his interceptions and how they cost.
yeah,
But because I know Parsons brought up, well, hey, that's why Jalen Hurts leads in interceptions.
yeah.
Cool, and I guess what he's not throwing. He's very few this year, but he's also not contributing to the winning. And as a quarterback, that is your main thing.
And my issue with that interception talk, bro, is yeah, cool. Jalen Hurts, dudes like Mac Jones. Another name that I'm gonna throw out there that a lot of people do mention, but a lot of people don't mention. I don't know if they're scared. There's a guy in Buffalo named Josh Allen that leads the league in interceptions since like 2016, right? But the difference is when these guys throw interceptions, it's not game ending. It's not putting the other team in a position to score points to literally win the game. Dak
Yeah,
makes mistakes, unfortunately, when you guys aren't
you
supposed
don't
to be
need
making
it.
mistakes.
Yeah.
And that I think that's the issue, or that's probably what everybody's trying to communicate when saying Dak throwing so many interceptions.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest, freaking Josh Allen throws a lot, but that's also because he throws about 40 of
Yeah, yeah,
them,
well, yeah.
and like,
And he tends to be someone mentioned it. He gets in like bull mode or whatever it is, where
yeah,
he starts thinking
thread the
like, "Oh, I
needle.
can make this throw regardless if it's very risky."
Yeah,
And
he
that's
does
where,
that a lot.
that's where things go left for him.
But the other thing when it comes to, because I don't want to compare the two, but like, I don't know, when it comes to Josh Allen, he's just you can tell that he's like, I'm gonna get it. I'm trying to get it done. With
Yeah, yeah.
Dak, it's like a sense of like the unknown when he's in there. There's no like Josh Allen. He gets a run, maybe 9, 10 yards. You're feeling Josh Allen when he's running.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, for
These
sure, for sure, for
plays,
sure.
like the way he carries himself when he's making these plays, you're like, oh, he
That
doesn't
hurt.
want to run.
That
Yeah,
hurt. That 9 runs he just picked up hurt.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm like, where's that with Dak? Like, I just feel like he's too calm. Like it's not enough. I need something from him, and it's just not showing onto the field.
I'm with you.
I get the composure. I get the quarterback. I get it, but I need a little something. A little something different. You don't need to be like Josh Allen and like give me something.
Just be a better version of Dak, bro. That's it. That's what this team needs.
Yeah.
I don't need it. I really don't. And
I
obviously,
mean, I'm a Giants fan, so you
I
can
was
talk
about
all
to
you
say my
want.
team is not even doing that well for me, probably even
Yeah.
making these points. But you know what?
Word.
I'm. This is a sports podcast, and it is what it is. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna talk about it. But to be frank, just be a little better, a better version of yourself for
Uh-huh.
your team. Don't even listen to anybody outside of your team.
Yeah.
But mentioning our teams, both our teams ended up scraping some wins today.
Against the Bills? Yeah, against the
We
Bills.
do.
It's a big win. That's a big win.
It was kind of scary, but we ended up actually coming out victorious. But
That's a big win.
you guys, I even though it was only by 7 points, I do like the victory you guys have against the Commanders. Because you guys used your weapons.
Yeah.
Your
Waller went nutty.
Waller and Barkley are the two to cross
Yeah.
the end zone,
Yeah.
and like a lot of points we made so far in this episode, a lot of these teams they gotta use their
Gotta
aces,
use your
man.
dog. Got to.
You gotta use their
Especially.
aces.
Yeah.
And I get that you guys didn't have Daniel Jones, and I can already tell that. Oh well, you guys. I get it, but whatever, bro. A win's a win, regardless of who you have back there.
100.
Pause. And they
Hey.
and they use their top pieces, which is supposed to happen. Also, on the other hand, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I appreciate the win. It doesn't really mean much. We're 2-5. Our season is practically done at this point, and we have the second hardest schedule in the league.
Coming up, yeah.
Yeah, but I do appreciate the win. I did like a lot of things that were happening out there. Better play calling on both sides of the ball. So I really do appreciate it. But if
Yeah.
this was game 1 or game 2, I would have felt a little bit better.
Yeah.
It's what is week 8.
I mean, I think we're 2-5 as well. So
Um it is what it I'm not gonna stop rooting. Obviously, you guys are my guys.
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
a Patriots fan until I die, you know what I'm saying?
So
But
I'm with you. I mean, I have a little not the optimism to make the playoffs, but to get a couple more wins.
yeah.
I just want to see an improvement from how these first 7 games went to these next 10 games left. Because we do face our division one more time in Dallas and the Eagles, but the Eagles are. I'm so happy that they're like week 15 and 17
Yeah, yeah.
because we do not want to see them.
Well,
Um,
by that time you can also catch them. There's season fatigue.
yeah,
Maybe they clinch, so they're not playing. I mean, that's not good for you guys, but
yeah,
you guys could probably something figure out and scrap out a win. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. Because our I think we face you guys battle the Jones, which would
oh
also
yeah,
be
yeah.
tough.
Battle of the
Um,
Joneses.
we'll see how that goes.
I think the
Um,
only thing that I like about what's going on. I mean, we lost to Miami, even though if we really go back to it, we probably should have won that game. But we're 2-1 in our division. Our only two wins is in
yeah,
our division. We beat the Jets game 2, and we just beat
the
the Bills.
Bills.
And like I said, Miami, which was the team that we lost literally on the last drive. So
And then so the Eagles, you could have won that game too.
correct, yeah,
That's
we
another game
literally. I was very confident after week 2 because we played the Eagles game 1 and we played the Dolphins game 2, and again, both
where,
games were decided by the last drive.
yeah,
If we just played, I mean, the Eagles, it was just horrible play call. I mean, both sides. But there was some horrible offensive
yeah,
play calling at the end of the game, and I just didn't understand it. But I still felt good because it's a team. It's the Eagles that just made the Super Bowl the year before, and
yeah,
obviously they were at that time. They might still be, but at that time they were primed to be back into the Super Bowl.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Then we faced the Dolphins, who week 1 went nuts,
yeah,
and then I was kind of scared for us. Our defense played their heart out. And oh my gosh, and we did what we could do, and unfortunately again lost by the last drive. Another thing that was impressive about this win, we had literally 4 of our most important pieces in defense out. We don't have Judon, we don't have White, Christian Gonzalez is out for the season, and we don't have is it I forgot to pronounce his name, but our 4 like most important pieces on defense didn't play today, and we managed to scrape out a win. So
yeah. Nah, that's good. I'm happy for you guys. It'll be tough going forward, but hey, we'll take the victory when we get it.
yeah, and no, for sure. I like I said, I have no aspirations, just like you. I have no aspirations for the playoffs, but I would like us to end with more than 2 wins. Like
Yeah. Oh, I'm with you on
that
that.
would be kind of depressing. Now
And
if we don't win, then if we don't win any more games, Bill fucking Belichick, do me a favor, bro. Draft accordingly.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
All right. I can't stress this enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be doing your philosophical shit and picking DEs and all O lines. No, bro. We might need a quarterback, dude. All right. There's
a
bone.
quarterback, a wide receiver.
Yeah,
Like,
we
come
need
on.
offensive pieces. You can obviously tell that you guys figured out the defense. We got the defense, bro.
Yeah,
Our receivers, even though I mean our tight ends are doing pretty good, if you ask me. Our
yeah.
receivers, they do their thing, even though Douglas today kind of went crazy. They do their thing when they're supposed to, but we have nobody that's like that.
Number
Oh
one.
my god,
Yeah, yeah. We're scared of that guy. No.
Mac Jones. Bill, don't lie to me. I can tell by your face that you don't trust Mac Jones. There's Caleb Williams, there's Bo Nix, there's the dude Penix
Yeah,
from
go
Washington.
get somebody.
There's a lot of dudes out there. The dude Drake May or whatever his name is from North Carolina. Make a freaking pick.
Yo, that goes the same thing for the Giants. If they go down this bad, hey, let's get someone,
Yeah, like
please.
if we go, and what's crazy is this year you guys did. I still think you guys did great because the pick that I wanted you guys to waste your first round pick on, you actually picked them, and in Christian Gonzalez, and I appreciated that. I think you guys go and get Keon White, which is another defensive piece that wasn't there today, which was another pick. You to me, you guys did good. I won't say great. You guys did good, but if we don't win no more games from here on out, I better
Yeah,
see some offensive players being picked.
100%.
Like Bill, come on. Enough is enough.
Yeah.
Um, that's all
Hey,
I have.
quick little fix though. The Bills, the Giants, what the Giants did, and they should have won.
True.
And then you got the Patriots. The Bills, they do not look good.
But I don't
They
know what's
don't.
going on over there.
Usually in the regular season, they are
They're dominating.
kill,
Yeah, yeah. They're
dominate, and
dominating.
fold in the playoffs.
But you guys are doing this weird thing where you're potentially losing or losing to butt teams, but then you go beat Miami after they score 70 points on Denver.
Make it make sense,
So
bro.
I don't
Make it make sense.
understand what's the game plan in Buffalo.
Well, guess what? You know what it is? 2-5, freaking boo boo ass Patriots. Oh, we're gonna take it. We're gonna lay off this game. And guess what? Patriots said, stupid.
And
And the Giants went ahead and said, stupid,
and you
bro. They
guys
only scored like 12. Was it 12 points or 14 points?
something like that.
The
At
Giants.
14. Yeah, something
The
like
Giants? Only 14 points against the Giants? Like, I'm
that. Did they play in New
confused.
York? Did they play here?
And they played in New York.
Well, Jersey.
Well,
I'll say
yeah,
that.
New Jersey.
Big
Like
Jersey.
20
You're
minutes away.
I mean that might also be a thing because they played in Foxborough. So they played it, they're playing away. But still, that does not that
Come
does
on.
not excuse you guys with
Come
the
on, bro.
performances you guys have
There's
had.
no way.
So yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you. If you guys want to be considered those top tier teams, you're gonna have to figure it out.
You got to steamroll
Because
through
what
the
is it now?
Giants and steamroll through the
4-3
Patriots.
now. 4-2.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah, yeah.
They need a bye week soon.
Now again, somehow you guys figured it out against the good team. So I don't know. I don't know. That's all I have, bro.
Yeah,
That's all I
no,
have for today.
same. I
Um,
just had to get that out my chest because I love the Bills, but golly, it's awful.
I don't really like you guys. You guys are in our division, but I do believe in you guys. Like I kind of want you guys to do what you do or need to do because I'm tired of another team that's in the AFC kind of.
The Chiefs, boy.
Even
Come
though they,
on, Devontae Adams.
even though in
Bring
this
that
game
ass
right
over
now,
here,
well,
boy.
this year alone, they look kind of shaky. And last time I checked, they weren't doing too great either.
Nah, buddy, they're winning.
At this moment of recording,
They're winning.
they are. I mean, yeah, they're up 24-17 fourth quarter with basically 12 minutes left.
Yeah. It's a
So
game. It's a game.
it is a
Still
game. If you guys manage to lose to the Chargers, yikes. That being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And you heard Bella at the beginning of this episode.
Happy birthday.
She will bark at you if you aren't subscribed, you booties.
Facts.
And make sure you guys comment down below. Happy birthday to Bella. It is her birthday. And hit that notification bell so you never miss a banger. Until next time, gang, we love you guys.
Peace.
Peace.